Evan Carmichael is an author, speaker, and a YouTuber who Gary Vee called a content DJ that inspires people. He went from making $300 per month and being a shy introvert to having over 300 million people watch his YouTube videos. Need motivation?
Watch the top 10 with Believe Nation.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like 9 for my top 10, top 10, 9. This one's for my top 10.
Hey, it's Nina Carmichael. We made this video, it's because you're probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more. And you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and his top 10 rules for success. Enjoy! Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Lean in with your heart.
If you quit on something too soon that you still love, you will regret it for the rest of your life. If you don't love it anymore, quit. Move on. You will never win doing work that you hate. But if you love it, and you move on to something else, you will look back on this day and regret it for the rest of your life that you did not see it through. Most people spend their entire life living with regrets. Don't let that be you. The hardest decision I ever had to make in my life was being an entrepreneur. I struggled a lot with the decision, do I want to be an entrepreneur, and had this opportunity to make $300 a month and earn 30% of a company versus going to work at a job that I thought I wanted, a job that I'd been preparing myself for, that this is what I wanted to do. It was in my high school yearbook of this is where I was going to be. And here it was, earning 6 figures, traveling around the world, doing the investment banking that I thought I wanted to do versus making $300 a month and owning 30% of a company. And the thing that allowed me to push through and be an entrepreneur was me saying, I don't want to live with regret. That I would rather know one fail than not know. And I gave myself a year. I said, I'm going to give myself a year to do this. I could always go back and get another job. It may not be the same job. It probably wouldn't be the same job. It may not be as much pay. It may not be traveling as much as this job was offering me to travel. But this entrepreneurial thing, this opportunity that I had, I never knew if it would come back again. Like I thought maybe this will never happen to me again. And so I decided to go for it. And we struggled and it was hard, but I never ended up having to go back and get another job. And so if you're at an inflection point, if you're thinking about which path should I take, A or B, lean in with your heart. Stop using your head. Your head only understands the world that currently exists. Lean in with your heart and ask yourself, which decision will I regret more if I don't do? And then go take that action. I became an entrepreneur because I didn't want to regret not having at least tried. And a great moment in my life came a number of years later where one of the people I went to university with came back and said, Evan, I went down that path. I became the investment banker and I hate my life. How do I become an entrepreneur? And I looked in his eyes and I saw the desperation and the sadness and helped him, but also was so grateful that that wasn't me, because it could have been.
Rule number 2, believe.
What's the difference between you and Jack Ma? You both have crazy dreams. You both started with the odds stacked against you. You both started with very little resources. So what's the difference? The difference is that Jack kept believing in his dreams and his ideas when most people quit and give up. So I actually think you should be on a mission for life. I'm not a big believer in 5-year goals or 10-year goals. I think they can help, but I think if you have a 5 or 10-year goal, you're actually thinking small because you can't predict where you're gonna be in 5 or 10 years. Just like the person you were 5 or 10 years ago could not have designed the life for where you're at right now. Not if you're growing, because the world's changing too quickly and you're growing and evolving. So the ideas and goals that you had 5 years ago may not even be relevant anymore, but the mission stays the same. My mission is believe. Right? Your purpose comes from your pain. So my mission is believe. I want to support entrepreneurs because I struggled so much as an entrepreneur. And I think it's the world's biggest problem. I think the world's biggest problem is people don't believe in themselves enough. I think any other problem that you come up with should have already been solved by now, but the person who could solve that, cancer, the woman who should have solved cancer is an account manager at McDonald's. Because she never tried going to medical school, or 2, she did, but she didn't believe in herself enough to chase it down. because everybody around there is telling her that she's crazy. You should be crazy. You're doing something that's never been done before. You're on a mission, right? And so no matter how many people I touch with all of my content, all of my channels, every video that I'm making, every speaking gig, every city that I go to, no matter how many people I touch, it's not going to be enough. I think that's great. I think you should have a mission so big that you're never going to actually accomplish it. I think of Ted Turner's father, who when he made a certain amount of money, became a millionaire, whatever the number was, he killed himself because he hit his goal. And hitting your goal is actually sad. And so Ted Turner decided that I'm going to set a goal so big that I can never hit it. And that's way more where I'm aligned. I think you should have a mission, something so big that you can never hit it. Some people think of that as, well, it's too big, and so why even try? And I think of that starfish example of the kids at the beach with the starfish, and there's like 1 million starfish on the beach, and she's throwing the starfish back in the water so they can live. And the guy walks by and says, "What are you doing? You can't save all the starfish." And she says, "I know, but I can save that one, and this one, and that one." Right? And so each person that you help, each step you take is beneficial. It's helpful. You never want to actually hit the goal, but you wake up every day working your face off to try to hit the goal, right? To hit that mission. And so that's belief for me. And I desperately hope that you find it for you.
Rule number 3, have a good morning routine.
Nobody wakes up every day and says, "This is gonna be the greatest day ever." Not Dan Locke, not Evan Carmichael, not Tony Robbins, nobody. You wake up and you're tired and you have stuff in your eyes and you have lines on your face from the pillows. The difference between successful people is that they demand excellence from themselves through the habits and routines that they do daily. The problem is that thinking that these people are different, that if you're not waking up with tons of motivation ready to take on the day, that something is wrong with you. The only thing that's wrong with you is you don't have the habits that set you up for success every single day. And today, I want to change that. So I have a 5S morning routine that I go through every single day that sets me up for success, that demands excellence. I'm going to share with you guys today. The first S is sing. The fastest way to change your state is to put on music. The fastest way to go from feeling low energy, tired, bored, into an energy of I am ready to go is music. Put on the song, not that makes you feel the current way that you're feeling. This is where most people mess up. You put on music for how you're currently feeling. If you're feeling really sad and low energy, you're gonna put on really mellow, slow music. What does that do? It keeps you in the same state that you're in. It keeps you exactly where you are. What you wanna do is put on the music for how you wanna feel. And so I have a playlist on my main channel called the Believe playlist, which is the songs that I listen to. These are the songs that I listen to every day. They may work for you, they may not work for you. There's no perfect song for everybody. There's a perfect song for you. And so build a playlist of the songs that make you come alive. Here's the criteria. If this song came on, it would force you to start moving. If the song came on, you find yourself doing this. If the song came on, you would get out of your chair and want to move around. Doesn't mean you're going to dance like crazy. Doesn't mean you're going to start belting out the lyrics. That may be you, awesome. But if you're a little more introverted or don't like to dance, something that would make you move, something that would get you at least in your chair doing this. That's what I want. Make a playlist and put that on as the first thing that you do every single morning. It'll make a huge difference to setting the tone, changing your state, and giving you energy and momentum to start the day. S number 2 is sun. I like getting outside. I think there's something about getting outside of your home, of your condo, your apartment, getting outside, getting some fresh air, just being out in nature makes a big difference. Getting some vitamins on your face from the sun outside, but also signifying that you're leaving your bedroom, you're leaving the condo, the apartment, the home, you're leaving what happened last night, and you're ready to go off and start the day. This is especially important if you're working from home, because it's easy to have your office right next to your bedroom, or maybe your office is your bedroom, and carry that bedroom energy, that tired, I just woke up, I want to stay in bed, I want to sleep energy into your work, and you won't do great things if that's the energy you're carrying to your work. So having some kind of ritual that splits up sleeping energy to I'm ready to go energy makes a big difference. And I find the easiest way to do it is to get outside and get some sun. Bonus points if you're in a condo or apartment to take the stairs instead of the elevator. S number 3 is soar, and this is the most important thing for me. If you only take one of the 5, I think this is the most important one to take. What is the thing that makes you soar every day? What's the thing that makes you feel alive, bold, confident? What is that? And put it into your morning routine. At some point in your life, you felt bold. You felt unstoppable, you felt confident. It's happened to everybody. The problem is you don't feel that way consistently every day. You go through these bursts, these moments of, man, I could do such amazing things, but then the next day you wake up and you're a different person. You're back to the, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know, who am I to go do this crazy thing? That's the problem. So whatever the thing is that makes you feel like you can come alive, that gives you that boldness and confidence, plan it with intention every single day into your morning routine. For me, what I do is I record a message on my phone to Instagram, to my stories, I put it to LinkedIn and Twitter. Right now I'm putting it everywhere, but I need to make a message. So I think of somebody that I helped yesterday. I think of somebody who commented on a video, who I met in person, who I coached on my Instagram Live, somebody that I helped yesterday. And then I make a message channeling that person. I won't say the person's name, but I have them in my head that I need to remind myself that the work that I do is important. It's easy to get lost in the numbers. It's hard to imagine that 200,000 to 300,000 people watched my videos yesterday. That's crazy. It's a wild number, right? It's wild. It's hard to, like, what does that even mean? I don't know. I'm just sitting here talking to a camera in my office, and 200,000 to 300,000 people are watching my videos. It's crazy. I need to think down to the actual person. I need to think about an individual, that this matters to somebody, that the work I do really means something to them. And then I need to record a message and share it. That helps me soar, and I do it every day. What is the thing for you? What makes you soar? Maybe it's watching the 254 series that I put up every day. Maybe it's watching the espresso videos like this that I put up every day. And some people, every day, this is part of the morning routine, is watching an espresso video, and I'm humbled to be part of your morning routine. For other people, it might be meditating, it might be watching a video, it might be reading a book, listening to a podcast. I don't care what the thing is. But you have felt bold, unstoppable, and confident at some point in your life. What led you to feeling that way, and then demand it of yourself every day by putting it into your morning routine? The third S is soar. It's the most important one. The fourth S for me is sweat. This is just about being healthy, having a healthy lifestyle, and I want to do something that makes me sweat. So whether it's a HIIT workout, a cardio workout, a weights workout, I put that into my daily routine because I want to bust a sweat and I want to stay healthy into my 40s, which is coming up, and then into my 50s and beyond. And then the last S for me is scare. I want to do something every day that scares me. What I'm doing right now is I take a cold shower. So after sweating, I need to have a shower. Don't want to show up to work all smelly. And so I hop in the shower, but right away start turning it colder and colder and colder and colder and colder. And then right at the very end, I go all the way cold and I freeze. And even just thinking of it right now, it sucks, which is the best. Right? You want to do the thing that scares you every day. You're teaching yourself that I do scary things. So whatever is scary for you, whether it's taking a cold shower, whether it's making a phone call, whether it's sending an email, making a video and posting it, doing scary things, teaching yourself, getting that out of the way right from the beginning, I find really helps me.
Rule number 4, raise your standards.
You are a product of your environment. The people around you are keeping you exactly where you are. And if you love where you are, then keep with those people. But if you want more out of life, if you've got bigger dreams, bigger ambitions, then you're going to have to let some of those takers go. Now, I've been pretty fortunate that I haven't had any real takers in a long time in my life. But here's the thing, it's easy to recognize the people who are really negative in your life and want to eliminate them. But then once you've done that, you'll still find that there's this middle ground. There's these people who bring you energy, who are amazing, who lift you up, who are awesome to be around. And there are people who are negative that you cut out of your life. But then there's that middle ground of people who, they're just okay. They're not bad. They're not great. It's just okay. And if you want to raise the quality of your life, if you want to raise your standards, you can't be hanging around, at least spending most of your time with people who make you feel just okay. So I got back from an event with Tony Robbins not that long ago. I think it was last year when I went with my friend Mark Drager, and Tony at the end of his events has you do this fire walk. And he lays out these, coals, these hot burning coals across a parking lot, and you have to walk over it. And he has you sing "Cool Moss, Cool Moss," and he gets you all excited and amped up to ready to cross the walk. And the idea is you're doing something that you're afraid of. You're doing something that you're scared of, and to show yourself that you're capable of doing difficult things. Mark and I decided to actually skip the fire walk because we rushed home, and I did the real fire walk, which was in my life letting go of a number of people who were just okay. It wasn't that they were bad or toxic or big takers from my life. It was just okay. And I realized if I'm spending all my time on things that are just okay, things people, projects, ideas that are just okay, that make you feel just okay, right? It's good is the enemy of great. If it's really bad, you're gonna let it go. But if it's good, you just keep it around. And then suddenly the good becomes your standard. Your good becomes acceptable. When did good become acceptable? That's what you need to draw the line in the sand and say, the ideas that are just good, I need to eliminate from my life. The people that are just good, I need to either eliminate or spend less time with them, to leave room for the things that are great, extraordinary, excellent, raising your standards, making you believe more in yourself and your capabilities. And so coming back from that event, it was on that day, not even coming back, it was on that day, I went back to my Airbnb with Mark and I let go of multiple people in my life. And not let go and say you suck, just basically moving on. And that allowed me to have a lot more momentum now. Now I had a lot more free time that allowed me to focus on things that would build me up, that would explode my growth forward. And it's been a crazy year. It's been basically a year. November 2018 was when that happened. So now it's been almost a full year. I guess by the time this video comes out, it's been a full year. Wow, that's crazy. It's been a full year since that happened. You have to let go of the takers first, and then you have to start thinking about, are the people around you just good? Are your ideas just good? And slowly start getting rid of those ones. The projects, the tasks, look at your calendar. What's just good in your life, and get rid of it and leave room and focus on the things that are extraordinary, that fill you up, that build you up, that make you feel amazing because you deserve it. And all of your great work, all of your great activities, all of your great momentum, your great impact is gonna come on the other side of doing amazing things. You will never create something amazing when you're working on something good, when you feel good, and definitely not when you feel bad.
Also, if you want to have more confidence, check out our 254 series. The link is in the description below.
If you're doing work that you love, you're more likely to follow through. You're more likely to do it because it doesn't feel like work, because you love doing it.
We need to stop using weak language and pay attention to the words that you're speaking to others and to yourself.
Start building a YouTube audience, start building a Facebook audience, start building a Twitter audience. Because if you do that, you're already ahead of most of the other authors.
Rule number 5, take action.
I'm really introverted. It doesn't come across, right? But I am. I'm really introverted. I don't talk to people on the airplane next to me. Is Justin in the house? There's Justin. So I sat next to Justin on the airplane on the way down. So usually I just tell it as a theoretical example, but I actually sat next to somebody on the airplane, Justin, and he's trying to make small talk, and I wasn't trying to be rude, small talk makes me anxious. Like, it gives me crazy anxiety. And so I remember everything he said. I remember he woke up at 4 a.m. to catch a 6 a.m. flight, to get in at 2 a.m. here with me. He likes his coffee decaf with 1 sugar and 1 cream. He has a black leather Toomey bag. And so, like, I remember all this stuff, but we didn't really talk. Like, that's pretty much all we talked about on this 5-hour flight down from Newark to here. And so I just get super anxious when doing small talk and networking. At the same time, I'm scared to make videos. So on my YouTube channel right now, have you guys watched some of my videos on YouTube? Okay, decent. All right. I've got 6,000 videos recorded on my YouTube channel. 2 million subscribers, 300 million views, all organic. I'm the organic guy. These guys are pros at paid ads. I'm not fantastic at that, but organic, I'm your guy. And I still get afraid to turn on the camera and press record. 6,000 videos later, because I want to be an icon too, and I want to get my message out. And every video that I make, I want it to be the best I've ever done. But I'm still afraid to go out and make the content. Being on stage always gives me crazy anxiety, right? I was speaking a couple weeks ago in Whistler, and the speaker before me was David Goggins. You know David Goggins? He's like the most intense human alive, crazy Navy SEAL ninja. And then the guy after me was football player Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was out. So it's like David Goggins, me, Peyton Manning. All right, right? Like boom, 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 right? And in all honesty, last year when I spoke at Growth, I had the biggest panic attack of my life backstage. It's 10 minutes before going live. There's this big wind up and lead up and like, just bring me out, I can't wait to go. And my heart's going like crazy, and I just forgot how I was gonna start my presentation, right? I just blanked. Have you guys had that happen where you're like, You're about to get on a call or a presentation, and you had it all down, you practiced 1,000 times, but then you just go blank. Great, that was me. Just before about to come up and speak to a couple thousand people. It was the first time I met Brendan. So he invited me out. We connected through Ethan. It was the first time I met him. He was doing an interview backstage, and they said, "Hey, Evan, I'm going to end my interview because I want to make sure that I'm watching your presentation." Like, oh my gosh, come on, really? Can't you just have a coffee or something backstage? But it's great. And he's going to give me feedback. Like, oh my God, okay, I'm ready for the feedback. And so I get on stage and do my thing. But just before that, what got me over it was I took a little peek behind the curtain, and I saw a bunch of you guys. And I reminded myself that I'm not here for me. I'm here for you. Right? Don't be so selfish. Right? Yeah, you can clap that up. It's not about me, it's about the message. And so the reason why, and even this lead up here, I'm sitting backstage, Ethan's calming me down because my heart's going crazy. Brendan is talking about the genius ideas that I told him backstage, oh my God, Brendan, look at the setup. Oh, I better deliver. And I tell you this because I've seen a lot of people from the Arizona event. I got stopped a lot over the past couple days, and they said, "Evan, I loved your speech. It was amazing." Like, "Oh, thank you. Did you start your channel? Where is it?" It's like, "Oh, no, I haven't done it yet." I'm like, "What? That was how many months ago? You loved my speech, but what happened?" And at the end of the day, it's just fear. You can come up with a really logical reason why you haven't posted yet, but really you're afraid that it's not perfect. You're afraid that nobody's going to watch it. You're afraid that people are going to watch it. You're afraid you don't know the technology, you don't know the gear, you don't know the team. You're just afraid, and we cover it with the reason why we can't do it, right? But really it's just fear. And so I wanted to share my fear with you because you might look at Dean and Brendan and all these mentors that you have, and they come on stage and they just look amazing. And you're like, well, I can never be like that. But at least for my story, I'm always scared. Right? I'm always playing anxious and nervous. I think if you don't have anything that makes you anxious and nervous in your life, then you hate your life. Right? Because then you're just staying inside your comfort zone. You know exactly what to do. You're photocopying your life over and over and over again. And so life isn't about having no fears. It's about conquering the fears. What Dean said yesterday about having the courage to jump out of the helicopter, right? To be on the edge here, or the helicopter or the plane, and say, I'm going to jump, to have the courage to do that. That's what you guys need to do. And why I share it is because the biggest reason why you guys aren't taking the action on the most logical opportunity, the biggest opportunity in front of your face right now is just because of fear.
Rule number 6, celebrate yourself more.
Your brain is keeping you afraid and preventing you from achieving everything that you want. Because your brain is practical, it's logical, it only understands a world that currently exists. And if you want to change the world and you don't learn how to hack your brain, you are going to play scared for life. So I was trying to think about, as I was watching this video, when was the last time that I felt really overwhelmingly scared? I might not be able to do this. I can't do this. I'm not capable. I'm not worthy. I don't think I'm gonna deliver a good job. And the only idea that came to mind recently of a big thing was when I was speaking at the event in Phoenix, and I was invited by Brendan Burchard and Dean Graziosi, and I was speaking at their event, and before me was Eric Thomas on day one, and I was the last speaker on the last day. And I remember the day of, I was pacing backstage about an hour, 45 minutes before the actual event. I'm there, I'm pacing, I'm walking back and forth. Brendan Burchard said he's gonna watch my entire speech and give me feedback after, which only adds to the pressure. And there was a moment where I blanked out. There was a moment, maybe 10 minutes before I went on stage. I'm standing backstage and I blank out. I don't even know what am I gonna talk about right now? I don't even know what I'm gonna talk about right now. It's been a long time since I felt that level of desperation, insecurity, overwhelm, because usually as soon as I hear myself saying, this is hard, this is difficult, I say, okay, let's go do it. The challenge in this situation was I couldn't just get up on stage whenever I wanted. And so I'm left sitting there walking backstage thinking, oh my God, what if I don't win? What if I don't give a great performance? What if I let everybody down, which is my greatest fear? What if I let the audience down and Brendan down and Dean down? And I just forgot what I'm gonna say. How do I even start my presentation? I'm gonna get up on stage and just face plant. It was this, I don't know, minute of just real desperation, of feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get up there and suck. I don't know what I'm gonna say. And then the thing that caught me, and I'm so grateful that it did, it's like the training, this is how you train yourself. The training came in. I said, what are you doing? You're Evan Carmichael. Let's go. And that may sound super egotistical, but I think the self-criticism only works when it's based off a foundation of self-love. Like, I think you need to celebrate yourself more. I think you need to recognize yourself more. Not bragging on social media that you did some fake goal that you know didn't take a lot of work, but you might get some accolades for from your friends and people following you. I'm talking about what do you tell yourself? Like, when you walk past yourself in the mirror, do you see a rock star? Do you see a stud? Do you see somebody who's gonna go change the world? Most people is no. And if it's a yes, it's not consistent. And so I think doing the work to tell yourself that you're amazing, I think that should be a default answer every time you're nervous, is to say, I'm fill in your name. I'm you, your name, right? I'm Evan Carmichael, let's go. And that motivated me to then instantly remember what the thing was. It wasn't that I forgot what I was gonna say, I was just too stressed out and blocked that I couldn't actually get through to what I was supposed to go out and talk about. And so that shift in my state, by telling myself, I'm Evan Carmichael, let's go, allowed me to connect to it and then go off and deliver, at least what I thought was a pretty great speech and event.
Rule number 7, focus.
You haven't said that this is the thing. This is what I have to accomplish today. This is the mission that I am on and nothing is going to stop me. If you don't learn to focus on what's important to you, you'll never do important things and live your life reacting to what's important to other people instead. So I recently started a new business with one of my Thought Leadership Academy students, Jeremy. He came to my event last year. I was thinking about him on my tour this year and said, I want to start a business with Jeremy around YouTube consulting. I get asked a lot, hey Evan, can you check out my channel? Hey Evan, can I work with you? Hey Evan, can I hire you for XYZ? Looking at my channel, giving me ideas, mentoring, guiding me. And it's just not the business that I want to be in, but it is a business. And so I thought, Jeremy's going to come on board. He's going to do it. Now, when I recruited him and called him, he was not a YouTube expert. And I gave him the homework and said, listen, if you want to do this business together, it's got to be important to you. I'm halfway through my trip on my tour. I'm coming back in a month and a half. Here's what I need you to know by the end of the month and a half. And I gave him resources, I gave him videos, I gave him insights and analytics and said, you need to know all of this. Know all of this. And then when I come back, if you're ready, we'll start the business. And he did. He focused. He made it his priority. He knew nothing about this. And all of a sudden he became an expert by every day, all day long, grinding to learn. By researching everybody who is an expert at this, understanding their methodologies, their best practices, looking through all my videos, my thumbnails, my strategies, all the things that I've talked about in the past, digesting it, kind of like the Matrix, when Neo's in the Matrix and now he can learn Kung Fu and now he learns how to fly a helicopter, all of that stuff. That's basically what he did. And when it came back in a month and a half, I put him to the test and said, hey, let's do 2 free calls. We'll take 2 people from my community and say, hey, free call, let's go. And he blew me away with how much he knew because he focused on it. Here's a guy who went from knowing almost zero to now being an expert to be able to really help give value to people. And now when we're looking at new people coming in, I barely have to do anything because he already knows what I'm gonna say. He already knows, he's already done the work, he's done the research because he spent that time on focused effort. And this is where I think a lot of people feel like they're never gonna win because you may not have had the expertise, you don't have the education. It doesn't take long to become an expert. It's just focused work that you're passionate about. Focused work, you could quickly become in a matter of months an expert at something if you just focus in on it and dedicate your life to that thing that you love. You can easily pass people who are experts at something who don't love their thing, but because you're willing to take it on, you're willing to absorb. Think about when you went to school. How much of the information you had in your head, but you had to read over the page 4 times. So you're at the same page 4, 5, 6 times because you got lost, you got distracted. That's not focused work because you don't love that thing.
Rule number 8, stop hiding.
If I can't tell the difference between you and all of your competitors, then the only reason why I'm gonna buy from you is because you have a cheaper price. You don't want to win on being the cheapest. You're amazing. You're a genius. You have Michael Jordan level talent. And it's time for the world to see it. You need to stop hiding. So I remember not too long ago, I was in New York and I was meeting with former mentor. Wow, that's hard to say 3 times fast. Former mentor. Okay, got it. Yes. Meeting with a former mentor of mine, and he was asking what my competitive advantage was, and I said, believe. I said, believe, what is that? Like, believe. I want people to believe. I want to give people hope. I want people to have hope that it's possible and show them another way. It's like, hope? You can't be in the hope business. You're selling hope? What is that? You're never gonna win off of hope. You can't win off of believe. That's just silly. And you know, a younger version of me would have felt, man, I don't know, maybe he's right. Here's this guy who's had so much experience and done so many things. Who am I to judge? I don't know, I've never done this before. But the me who was listening to him was like, this guy just doesn't get it. I'm gonna crush off belief. I already am crushes off belief. People stop me and say, hey, you're the believe guy. Yeah, that's my mission, yo. That's what I'm doing every day. That's what I wake up trying to spread. It's the world's biggest problem and I'm tackling it. I'm gonna make my dent in the universe. Steve, right? I'm gonna go make my dent in the universe. That's my competitive advantage. And there may be people who don't understand it, and that's okay. You can't let their limited view of the world and super limited view of you prevent you from going off and doing your thing.
Rule number 9, learn how to close.
People think that closing is a bad word. That salespeople are slimy and closing someone on something is good for you, but not necessarily good for them. Now, some people are like that, but it doesn't have to be you. You want to help people. And if you know that they should be taking action in an area where they are not, their ability to follow through and listen to your advice is directly in relation to your ability to close them. If you want to help people, you need to learn how to close. I was really in this same camp. You know, I thought salespeople were slimy. I'm a humble Canadian with humble parents and never really learned about sales and techniques and closing because that's what bad people do, you know. And my passion is to live a life of service. And I saw my mom do it. You know, she's on the wall behind me and all the great efforts that she went through to help humanity and the people around her. And there was a moment in time I realized that there was this one moment that this is when I needed to learn how to get better at closing. This is when I realized I need to learn this skill because if I don't, it's going to limit my impact that I want to build, that I want to help people, right? It's going to limit my impact. So here's what happened. There's an entrepreneur friend of mine. He had this successful business that he was thinking, do I sell it or do I just let it run on autopilot? Sell it or let it run on autopilot? Because he wanted to go off and do something else. He wanted to leave the country, join a different business, start something new. And this company that he created, he was on the fence whether he should just let it go and sell it or go off and try to bring somebody on who would just run it and he could be on autopilot mode. The allure of passive income and just everything's gonna be done for you automatically, right? Anyway, so I told him, you need to sell the business, sell it now, sell it while you still have one foot in the water, sell it while you still have some kind of care for the company before you hate it. Because once you're moving on and doing other things, any involvement in this business is gonna be such a drain and a drag for you. You can't be in this thing, you need to move on. And he hemmed and hawed, I wasn't sure. And I wasn't good at closing him. I wasn't a good enough communicator to help him through that decision because I knew that was the right thing for him. Anyway, he didn't do it. He didn't sell the business. He thought he's gonna live this life, you know, live overseas and have this business run on autopilot. And then the business crashed. The business crashed because the person that he brought in didn't care as much as he did, wasn't the owner like he was. He wasn't there to make sure things happened. When crises, you know, did happen, he wasn't super responsive. And eventually the business just fumbled, just disintegrated, just fell apart. Even telling a story now brings me back because I see that as my responsibility. Because he could have sold it and got a good price. It may not have been the price that he wanted, but it's way better than just watching his business slowly tank over time. And I knew it was the best answer for him. And I didn't push hard enough. I didn't close him that this is what he needed to do. Now you may be watching and saying, well, it's not your responsibility, it's his responsibility. You know, he should have known better. You can only do so much. And yes, at the end of the day, I can only do so much. And it's up to him to be able to make that decision. But I could have done better. right? I could have done better. I did not do my best because I didn't know how to close. I didn't learn the skills. And as a result, you know, somebody close to me suffered. And so I decided that I needed to get better at it. I needed to learn more. I needed to improve myself so that with every entrepreneur that I meet, I'm a little bit better. I'm a little bit stronger. I can guide them just a little bit better. And if that, my improvement in helping close them means that they have a massive success because they decided to take that path instead of going down the wrong one because they were afraid or greedy or whatever other reason, that's amazing. And if you want to influence people, it's the same thing. If you want to help people, not just sell your product that benefits you and doesn't benefit them. I'm not talking about using it for nefarious purposes, right? You want to help people. You have to learn to close them. Through care, through heart, through effort, through energy. You have to learn how to close them.
And rule number 10, the last one before our very special bonus clip, is have fun. Are you enjoying, Evan? Evan, you enjoying lying down on the beach?
Yes.
Evan, you look very comfortable.
Yeah. Gotta do what I gotta do. Gotta do what I gotta do.
How are you doing, Evan?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm great.
I'm great. Nina wants to do this. How often?
A lot.
A lot? Like a lot means like once every 3 years?
No, once a week.
Wow, once a week. Well, I'm getting stuff done. Let's go.
I like the heat. The heat is nice.
Hey, listen, there's heat anywhere Nina goes.
Water is cold. The water is cold, Evan.
Well, colder than expected.
Yeah. Look who we bump into. Sebastian.
Y'all just hanging out. Nina got bored, so we left. Nina got bored, so we left.
because I couldn't nap.
She got bored. I was fine. Nina got bored, so we left.
I just want to go for a walk. I just want to go for a walk at the beach.
Nice.
And now I have a very special bonus clip from Evan on how to do scary things. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know, how can you celebrate more with yourself today? Let me know in the comment below. And if you made it this far on the video and you're still watching and you promise to take action after watching this video, Believe Nation, we don't just watch video, we do stuff. If that's you, please leave a hashtag Believe in the comment below because we want to celebrate you.
If you're procrastinating, it's because either you don't want to do it, like people who procrastinate or studying or something because they don't want to do it, or you're afraid of it.
Yeah.
It's not that you're a procrastinator, you're just afraid, and that's okay. Now it starts teaching yourself that you do scary things. Yeah, it's the fear. It's the fear of failure. It's the fear of judgment. It's the fear that it won't work out. It's the fear of losing money. It's the fear of saying you're starting this business and then other people maybe making fun of you or laughing at you if it doesn't work out. There's lots of different potential fears. It starts by you teaching yourself that you do scary things because otherwise you hate your life.
Yeah.
If you don't do something that makes you scared, you're going to hate your life.
If you want 10 more rules from my husband Evan Carmichael, ensure to check out the link next to me. I'll see you there. Enjoy. Believe.
You want to help people. It's hardwired into us. Serving other people touches the same part of our brain as eating food and having sex.